we do to find the right cars or get the cars, but I can't help myself. My name is Danny, and I make history every day.
At 61, Danny Koker, the rock and roll force behind Counting Cars, is a different man. The larger-than-life TV host has faced a series of life-altering challenges that have reshaped him in ways fans are only just beginning to understand. While whispers and rumors pointed to everything from health crises to legal troubles, the real story of what Danny Koker has been through is more about quiet strength and resilience than anyone imagined. This is the truth behind the immense pressure and the profound personal struggles that redefined a legend that he was the undisputed king of car flipping on television, building an empire from raw steel and roaring engines. For years, Danny, the Count Koker turned his passion for muscle cars, motorcycles, and music into a life most people only dream of. Then, after a decade on top, Counting Cars quietly aired its final episode, and Danny stepped back from the relentless glare of the camera. What happened when the show stopped? It's a story of brutal stress, personal loss, and a quiet battle that has defined the man behind the bandana. For years, Danny, the Count Koker was more than just a TV personality, he was an icon. With his signature bandana, dark shades, and a near-supernatural ability to spot a classic, he roared into our living rooms and became the face of car culture. Counting Cars, a spin-off of the hugely successful Pawn Stars, wasn't just another reality show, it felt like an extension of Danny's soul. The series, which followed the daily hustle at his Las Vegas shop, Count's Customs, was a tribute to his lifelong passion. Cars were in his blood. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, he grew up in a family deeply connected to the auto world. His own father was an executive at Ford Motor Company. This wasn't a career he fell into, it was his destiny. He was a self-taught mechanic, a guy who learned the language of engines not in some stuffy classroom, but with grease on his hands. He reportedly tackled his first motorcycle restoration at the incredible age of 8. It was this raw, authentic love for the craft that made him so magnetic on screen, but that was only half the story. His father was also a gifted musician, a baritone vocalist and pianist who played with legends like Johnny Cash. Danny inherited that musical talent, even performing at Carnegie Hall when he was just 11 years old. This dual identity, the gearhead and the rock star, created the larger-than-life persona that viewers couldn't get enough of. When Counting Cars hit the airwaves in 2012, it was an instant smash. Fans were hooked by his boundless energy and his genuine, almost spiritual connection to the cars he restored. He wasn't just flipping vehicles for a profit, he was a rescuer, breathing new life into forgotten pieces of American history. From the outside, it looked like he was living a dream built on horsepower and heart. But behind the garage doors, a different reality was starting to take shape. The roaring success of Counting Cars brought Danny fame and fortune, but it also came at a steep price. Reality television is a relentless machine, demanding constant content and manufactured drama that can wear anyone down. For a guy as authentic as Danny, the pressure was immense. The deadlines were brutal, and the need to keep his high-energy persona on for the cameras day after day began to take its toll, but the stress of TV was just the start. The real cracks in his world appeared through a series of devastating legal and personal challenges. In 2016, the man who built his empire on trust was forced to file a lawsuit against a former employee at Count's Customs for allegedly embezzling over $75,000. The suit claimed the employee used company funds for personal expenses, a deep betrayal that hit both his business and his faith in the people around him. This wasn't his only legal headache. In another instance, a couple filed a lawsuit against the shop over a restoration project they claimed was never completed. While the details of these cases weren't widely publicized, they generated negative headlines that chipped away at the reputation he'd spent a lifetime building. The combination of immense stress, public scrutiny, and legal battles led to a quiet but significant decision. After 10 seasons and over 180 episodes, Counting Cars aired its final new episode in 2021. There was no dramatic finale or tearful goodbye, the show simply concluded its run. Danny was making a choice. he was stepping away from the TV machine, not as a failure, but as a necessary act of self-preservation. With Danny's retreat from the weekly TV spotlight, a void was created. And in the world of celebrity, that silence was quickly filled with whispers, speculation, and a flood of alarming rumors online. Fans who only knew the energetic Count from their screens began noticing a transformation in the occasional photos that surfaced. He appeared thinner, his energy seemed more subdued, and he'd clearly lost weight. This change fueled a storm of health rumors, each more frightening than the last. The internet started playing doctor. Speculation ran wild, with gossip sites diagnosing him with everything from cancer to a severe autoimmune disorder. His weight loss was seen not as a choice, but as a sign of a hidden, life-threatening illness. While these rumors were largely unfounded, they weren't pulled from thin air. Danny did acknowledge a past heart problem, which served as a wake-up call for him to prioritize his health. The dramatic weight loss fans were worried about was actually the result of a proactive journey. He overhauled his diet, started exercising, and shed over 50 pounds. But in the world of online gossip, the truth is often less exciting than the rumor. The misinformation became even more cruel, extending to his family. One of the most painful and completely false reports claimed that his beloved wife, Corey, had died in an accident. The rumor caused unimaginable distress for the Kokers, who were bombarded with condolences for a tragedy that never happened. This cruel episode highlighted the dark side of fame, where personal trauma becomes public entertainment. For Danny, it was just another layer of pain on top of an already heavy burden. While the world was busy speculating about his health and business, Danny was quietly fighting a much deeper, more personal battle rooted in profound loss. The invincible rocker image he projected on TV hit a man carrying the immense weight of grief, a grief that had been with him long before the cameras started rolling. The biggest of these losses was the death of his father and namesake, Danny Koker Sr., who passed away in 2008. To understand Danny, you have to understand the massive influence of his father. Danny Sr. was his hero, his mentor, and the man who inspired his two greatest passions, cars and music. He was a Green Beret, a successful musician, and an automotive enthusiast who gifted a young Danny his first car. When he passed away, Danny lost the foundational pillar of his life. Years later, this private grief became a source of public confusion. As Danny stepped back from TV, his father's old obituary began to recirculate online. People who saw the notice, which shared the same name, mistakenly believed that it was the Counting Cars star who had died. This led to another wave of false death rumors, forcing a man already grappling with the memory of his father's passing to confront it all over again in public. Imagine the sheer weight of it all, the relentless grind of a hit TV show, the betrayal of an employee, the stress of lawsuits, the terrifying false rumors about your wife, and the ghoulish speculation about your own health. And underneath it all, the enduring grief for the man who shaped you. This was the storm that reshaped Danny Koker. It wasn't one single event, but the cumulative effect of a man weathering multiple storms at once. Out of the ashes of stress, grief, and public pressure, a new Danny Koker began to emerge. This wasn't a story of decline, but one of resilience. The man who stepped away from the public eye wasn't hiding in defeat, he was making a deliberate choice to reclaim his own life, trading the demands of fame for the peace of authenticity. The most visible sign of this was his health journey. The 50+ pounds he lost weren't a symptom of sickness, but a result of a disciplined commitment to a healthier lifestyle after his heart scare. He started eating better and exercising, recognizing that his body had been paying the price for his high-stress career. This journey was a powerful statement. He was choosing his health over the persona he was expected to maintain. This shift was also about reclaiming his mental and emotional peace. By ending the grueling production schedule of Counting Cars, he gave himself the gift of time. Time to breathe, time to grieve, and time to reconnect with the passions that fueled him long before TV. He poured his energy back into the sanctuary of his shop, Count's Customs, not for a TV segment, but for the pure love of the craft. The sound of a wrench, the smell of fresh paint, these were the things that had always centered him. He was returning to his roots, stripping away the layers of celebrity to find the man underneath. While some assumed that stepping away from television would mean the end of his empire, the opposite happened. Freed from the constraints of filming, Danny focused his energy on his business, and Count's Customs has continued to thrive. The shop, once the backdrop for a reality show, is now a buzzing hub of elite craftsmanship, still drawing in fans and high-end clients. His reputation for quality work remains rock solid in the circles that matter most. The shop is still very much in business, offering everything from custom builds to free museum tours of Danny's personal car collection. He's also diversified his brand with Count's Tattoo Company, located inside the Rio Hotel and Casino. This new chapter isn't about chasing the spotlight, it's about building a sustainable and authentic business on his own terms. He's proven that his talent is more in demand than ever, and he doesn't need a TV show to be the king of customs. Just as his custom car empire settled into its new groove, Danny made another bold move that signaled his commitment to reshaping his life. He announced the closure of his iconic music venue, Count's Vamped Rock Bar and Grill. After a 16-year run as a pillar of the Las Vegas rock scene, the legendary club hosted its final blowout show in the summer of 2025. The news sent shockwaves through the local music community, with fans and musicians mourning the loss of a beloved institution. Co-owned by Danny and his wife, Corey, Vamped was more than just a bar, it was a sanctuary where the independent spirit of rock and roll thrived. But seeing the closure as a failure would be missing the point. This wasn't a business collapsing. It was a deliberate, strategic decision by a man consciously redesigning his life. In interviews, Danny spoke of club fatigue, acknowledging the immense pressure of operating a premier rock venue for nearly 2 decades. The property was listed for sale, a calculated move to shift his priorities and shed a massive responsibility. This powerfully reinforced the central theme of Danny's current journey. He is a man taking decisive control of his destiny, letting go of what's draining to make room for what's next. Through all the massive shifts in his career and personal life, one thing has remained a powerful constant for Danny Koker: his music. His band, Count 77, isn't a celebrity side project, it's the rock and roll heart of who he is. It predates the fame of counting cars and has outlasted it, serving as his truest form of self-expression. Count 77, a hard rock band with a sound rooted in the 70s, has been a fixture in the Las Vegas music scene for over a decade. While other parts of his empire have been transformed, the band has endured. They continue to perform, rocking stages at festivals and, until its recent closure, holding down their home base at Count's Vamped. The final, emotional farewell show at the club was, fittingly, headlined by Count 77, closing a 16-year chapter with a thunderous performance. For Danny, fronting the band is a vital connection to his roots and to the spirit of his father. When he's on stage, microphone in hand, he's not the Count from TV. He is simply Danny, a musician lost in the raw power of a live rock show. It's an escape that allows him to tap into a pure source of joy. The cameras may be gone, and the name on the rock club may have changed, but the music never stops. It's the unbreakable thread weaving through every chapter of his life, a powerful reminder that while empires can rise and fall, the soul of a true rocker never fades. What do you think of Danny's incredible journey of resilience? Let us know your favorite Counting Cars moment or your favorite Count 77 song in the comments below. And for more updates on your favorite personalities, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. The story of Danny Koker at 61 isn't the tragedy that online rumors painted. It's a powerful story of survival and rebirth. We watched a man forged in the high-pressure world of television, a rock and roll king who seemed to have it all. But we also saw that same man tested by the weight of fame, the pain of loss, and the cruelty of public speculation. The Danny Koker of today isn't the same man we saw on Counting Cars, and that is his greatest victory. He made the courageous choice to trade fame for freedom and stress for health. He walked away from the glaring lights of a TV studio to find peace in the glow of a welding torch and the raw energy of a rock stage. He hasn't just preserved his empire, he's rebuilt it into something stronger and more authentic. His legacy won't just be the stunning cars he brought back to life. It will be the story of the life he reclaimed from the brink, a survivor who is finally thriving on his own terms.